Hi YouTube and welcome to Digital Tech. Today let's have a look at Mojhon, former BigBigWon Blitz 2 TMR version, Dynasty Warriors Edition. I've seen this controller being praised by everyone, but I refused to buy it just for one simple reason. I didn't like the original color. I wanted black Blitz 2, maybe some red for additional accents, but only Blitz available in black was Blitz 1 Nintendo Switch version, and around 6 months ago I gave up. I bought that original Blitz 2. I was happy with the controller itself, but still wasn't fully satisfied. One day I was casually scrolling Taobao and I saw this black Blitz 2 with red accents. I sold my original Blitz 2 immediately and got this one instead. No regrets. This controller was sent to me for review by GadgetHyper, authorized global distributor for brands like FlightDJ, ZT Gaming, BigBigWon, and more. It was founded in 2023. They specialized in gaming controller category and meant to be the bridge between emerging tech brands and global customers. However, no money's changed hands and I can say whatever I want about the product provided for review. Honesty above all, boys. If you want to buy this or any other controller, I'll leave a link in the description down below. First of all, let's check what it says on the box. It has 16 mechanical buttons, 1 kHz gyroscope motion control, we're gonna test it for sure, and 2 kHz polling rate. It says high precision Alps joysticks, but this version is a TMR version, not Alps. It has 2 extra buttons, 2 on top and 2 on the back, and is compatible with Windows 10 and 11, Switch, Android, and OS. So basically, you can use it on any platform. And here we can see it has 1000 mAh battery. More information on this later. Now let's open up and see what's in the box.
What's in the fucking box?
Everything is in this carrying case and there's nothing more in the box. Usually collaboration goes with a better quality or some extra accessories. Here you have a carrying case. Well built, it feels very high quality. By the way, it's rubberized. Here's the manual. Comes in English, Chinese, and Japanese. Very high quality USB-A to USB-C cable. It's not very long though, because this controller is meant to be used wireless. Also here we have extra rubberized buttons. You can stick them right on top of your extra buttons and it will have more height and more grip. We're gonna test it later. The controller itself comes with the rings protecting sticks. Even if you put the taller sticks, it still will be protected. Here's the extra D-pad, USB dongle, and 4 extra sticks. These are the basic one, which comes in the controller itself when you get it, and this one are the tallest. So this is what you get for $20 more. Carrying case and rubberized buttons. And of course red and black Blitz 2. If you would ask me, I was ready to pay $20 more just for this color. So this extra stuff is just good. But it's only my opinion, of course. You can store all of your accessories inside, and also it's very soft and won't scratch your controller. Only 2.9% of the people watching my content are subscribed to my channel. Let's up this number to 10. And if at any point in the future you stop liking what I'm doing, you can always unsubscribe. Thank you. At the time of recording, I've only seen this controller being sold only on one website, and this website is GadgetHyper. The link I'll put in the description, and the price for original color is $80 and this one cost $100. When I just got this controller, took it out of the box and connected to my PC, I was kinda disappointed. Red LED in promotional photos are only in Nintendo Switch mode. When you use PC mode, the lights will be green and also blue in PlayStation mode. Mojhon, if you are watching this video right now, please let us control the LED in the app. The controller itself weighs 243 grams, which is on a lighter side. For example, Vader 4 Pro weighs almost 270 grams, and MobilePad Huben 2 weighs 287 grams. Also, DualSense is 280 grams, and only Cyclone 2 is a little bit lighter, 228 grams. So in terms of weight, I would say this controller weighs just enough. It's not too heavy, but at the same time, it's not too light to feel cheap. So what about how this controller feels in hands? If you've ever try Nintendo Switch Pro controller or any of 8BitDo controllers, this is almost the same, but for some reason with 8BitDo controllers my hands getting tired very fast, but with this controller I can play for longer. The difference is the placement of triggers, and also this controller a little bit thicker and taller, so I have more space to rest my fingers on. The battery on this controller is 1000 mAh, and for battery life you can expect around 12 hours, but in my experience this controller can get even more, because there is only 3 to 4 LEDs used at the same time. Now let me show you different colors in different modes. If you hold home button and A, you'll get Nintendo Switch mode. This one is by far the best looking wise, and it's blinking because it's not connected to Nintendo Switch. So this is how it looks on all the promotional photos, but this is how like 95% of users will use this. If you hold home button and B, you'll get dongle connection, and if you hold home button and Y, you'll get blue light, which is a PlayStation mode. But hold your breath because this controller doesn't support PlayStation, and I only now noticed there's a plastic protector for the logo. You can see it on camera. Let's get rid of it. That's much better. Now let's move to sticks. This controller has TMR sticks with 2000 polling rate. This is a lot. Later on the video I'll show you some tests and will prove you that this controller indeed has 2000 polling rate. In terms of feel, they feel more on a loosier side. So here's another point why I love this exact color more than the original. On the original Blitz 2, the A, B, X and Y are all colored in different colors. And I think this is exactly why that controller reminds me of a toy. But on this controller you only have black, red and some white accents. By the way, I don't like this print on the face of the controller. I would rather have this print on the back of the controller and probably this small logo on the face of the controller, because all the controller is red and black and there you have super big white guy on the front. Personally, I don't like this design decision. Also here you have two swords, which becomes lightsaber when you turn the controller on, and some more details. But let's go back to face buttons. What can I say about them? I really like these buttons. They have short travel, they are mechanical, also they don't rattle in the housing. So for buttons, I would say they're really good. As for D-pad and actually all of the buttons on this controller, they're all mechanical buttons. So D-pad is mechanical too. It's very well built, it's easier to press, so D-pad has very good feeling to it. But I'll show you later in the video during the test segment that this D-pad has some problems actually. D-pad is removable, and actually let's try another D-pad. From visual standpoint, I prefer this D-pad, but this one may be better in some kind of games. It's just a personal preference. I like this kind of D-pad on other controllers, but not for this controller for some reason. For other extra buttons, you have menu button, view button, screenshot button, and another function button. I repeat, all of them are mechanical as well. Another thing I want to add is that menu button and view button are very well placed. Even if you use taller sticks or Kontrol Freeks or all together, it's very easy to reach these two buttons. And this is the thing I cannot say about many controllers these days. So this is a huge plus in my opinion. When you see this controller for the first time, the first thing you put your eye on is these four buttons. And let me explain what they do. The first one is turbo. If you hold turbo button and another button, that other button will become turbo. And if you press this indicator will show you that you have turbo. So the next button is remap button. And keep in mind you can only remap extra buttons such as these two and two on the back. If you want to remap this button to Y, for example, you need to hold top button and remap until this indicator starts to breathe, and then you tap the button you want to put it on the extra button. So now this M3 button is Y. The third button is macro. You can hold macro button and any other button, and when it starts to breathe, you can put any inputs in here and then just press it again. And now this button has your macro. If you touch it, you can see the light is blinking, and the last one is actually the simplest. You have up to 4 profiles, and if you tap this button, controller will vibrate and you can move to different profiles. So these buttons are very handy and you can use them at any time without needing to use software. This is a nice addition for this controller. As for bumpers, they're very good as well. They are easy to actuate and you can press them at any point on the controller because their mechanism is a little bit special. The right bumper actually goes to the left and left goes to the right. So they're cross inside. I can show you on the picture now. So this is a good design in my opinion. The only thing I maybe want to be different is the travel distance, especially at the end of the bumper. But I'd say during the gameplay you don't feel this long distance and it's just fine. So if you didn't know, this controller doesn't have analog triggers. It's digital only, same as Nintendo Switch for example. For some people it may be make or break situation, but for me it's fine. I would even show you during the test runs when I was playing racing games. This is not that big of a problem as people say. And for the travel distance it's very short, it's clicky and tactile. So these buttons are extremely good for FPS games. I would actually say they're extremely good for everything except for racing games. But in my opinion, they're even okay for racing games too. So this controller has 2 rumble motors as any other controller, but the vibration feels a little bit different. I would say it's kind of more precise. It's far from DualSense haptics, and it's not that precise like for example on Huben 2 and Nintendo Switch, but it's still better than 90% of the controllers on the market if you are looking for more precise vibration. For connectivity options, it can be used on PC, being wired with the dongle or Bluetooth. Also, you can use it on iOS, Android and Nintendo Switch easily. It even works with Nintendo Switch 2 actually. As for extra buttons, let's talk about the top buttons first. And I would say, in my opinion, they are not easy to reach. For example, when I play games, I hold the controller this way. And as you can see, in order to reach those buttons, I need to reach a little bit. It's not that easy actually. You can find a way. If you play with this controller for a week, you will get used to this. But for me personally, I rarely use these buttons because they're a little bit too far for my liking. For example, on G7 Pro, which I've already reviewed, you can check the video here, the buttons are a little closer to triggers and you can reach them easily. Actually, it may be a problem for some people like me, but for somebody else it will be just fine. In terms of feel, these buttons are very easy to press, they have tactile feedback, and if you put these rubberized buttons on top, it may be easier to reach, but I'm not sure about it. Also, on the top of a controller, you have a pairing button. On the back of a controller, we can see Mojhon, which is the former BigBigWon. Even here, they showed A+ home button switch, and B+ home button is Windows, Android, and iOS. There is no information about PlayStation. My guess is that they were trying to get this controller to work on PlayStation, but something went wrong. And now we only have that mode for PlayStation, but it doesn't work on PlayStation 4 or 5. If you connect this controller to PlayStation 5, it will only appear like keyboard, and you won't be able to use this controller on PlayStation 5. Also, here we can see Dynasty, Warriors, Origins, and 2 extra back buttons. As for these buttons, I really like them because they're quite easy to press. They also have tactile feedback, and their placement is actually one of the best I've ever tried on any controller. So back buttons are very nice, at least for me. But for people who want 4 back buttons, I'm sorry, it's only 2 here. Now let's test these rubber buttons. I would say the top ones help reachability a little bit, but they look weird though. As for back buttons, I already like them, but let's try it anyway. So I'd say these back buttons feel very good as well. And when you hold the controller in your hands, it makes handles a little bit wider. So for people who don't like slim handles on this controller, this might fix your problem. Yeah, I didn't expect that, but I like the back buttons as well. Here's the closer look after installation. So I'm gonna use the controller like this with these extra buttons, and later I will let you know how it goes in a pinned comment under this video. So if you don't want to miss that, please consider subscribing. And the question probably many people want to know, is this controller better than Vader 4? It's very difficult to compare them. These two controllers are very different and same at the same time. Same goes to Cyclone 2, for example, because they're both good in different ways. Cyclone 2 is better in terms of price, this is 100%. And if you wonder if Blitz 2 is better than Apex 5, you'll need to wait for my full review on Apex 5. If you want me to compare any of this controller with any of other controller, let me know in the comments down below. As for Kontrol Freeks, I would recommend to use PlayStation 4 and 5 style Kontrol Freeks, because these stick caps are a little smaller than PS4 and 5, but still bigger than Xbox. And if you try to put an Xbox style Kontrol Freak on here, it will damage your stick, so I won't recommend to do that. So PS4 and 5 sits like this. You can see it's very difficult to move. And some other PS4 and 5 style Kontrol Freeks will move more freely. But even if it moves freely, doesn't mean it will get off. So as you can see, it stays on. No problem. Let's have some tests. The polling rate test showed 1788 Hz and these stick modules are 2000 Hz. Stick analyzer showed great results, 8500 data points with 1300 resolution. Button latency test showed good average latency, but the max latency is a bit higher than usual. And here's GamePadla information. Aim-lapse testing surprised me. In my first attempt without any warm-up, I got 35k points. And the second try was 37k. On the third try, I got almost 37k again. These TMR sticks feel extremely responsive and smooth. I enjoyed using them in aim-lapse. Many people asked me to test gyro as well, and I did. Gyro polling rate test showed the same results as the stick test, because gyro simply emulates the right stick. Anyway, it's the best results I've ever had for gyro test. I've also tested gyro in aim-lapse for the first time ever, and I was pleasantly surprised, not gonna lie. It's very responsive and felt like I was using a mouse. mouse. Of course, results wasn't the best simply because I've never used gyro for aiming before. So if you are looking for the great, maybe even the best gyro experience on PC and not only on PC, look no further than the Blitz 2. I've tested the Blitz 2 in driving games, even though many people say it's unplayable without analog triggers, and I strongly disagree. Because back in the day we all played Need for Speed games on keyboard and it wasn't a problem at all. And even nowadays many people still play driving games on a keyboard and it's just fine. So if you're a casual driving game player, you're completely fine with digital triggers only. But if you're a competitive driving games player, you know it better yourself. Now let's test the D-pad in Street Fighter 5. Yeah, Street Fighter 5, not 6, I know. Yeah, don't play fighting games on this D-pad. Let's try the satellite D-pad. Not the best D-pad in my opinion for fighting games, for sure. Like when you have only 2 inputs, like for Hadouken, it's quite easy, but you can see I'm still having a problem here. Yeah, or you just need to get used for this D-pad. I don't know. It doesn't feel good. So don't play fighting games on this D-pad, or you need some time to get used to this, but on other controllers it was much more easier to do Hadoukens and all this stuff. I also tried to play Streets of Rage Remix and it was just okay as well. So for retro and platforming games, this D-pad will do just fine. So here's the PC application for Blitz 2. It's not very advanced. For example, Flight DJ and Gamesir's applications are much better, but this one simply has everything you need. And also several days ago, they updated to show this exact controller as Dynasty Warriors Origins. So here you can store all of your configs, and you can store up to 4 configs in this controller. So if you go into this menu, you will see that you only have motion, sticks, key maps, and shake. For motion, you can set your gyro to simulate left stick or right stick. For shooting games, I would recommend using right stick. Here you can set up your sensor sensitivity and sensor horizontal vertical ratio. For this curve, I would like it to be a little bit more flat. And here you cannot read what it says. You can only check this in the mobile app. And right now I'm checking in the mobile app to see what it says. So here is the response curve. And this one is a dead zone compensation. Here you can set your gyro to be Z axis or Y axis. In stick submenu, you can calibrate your sticks to be whatever you want. And this is the way how Mojhon fights joystick drift. Even though it's TMR, but sometimes after calibration, your middle point can be lower or higher. So you can adjust it right here. Here's the remap menu, and you can map any of these buttons to any buttons you want, including keyboard. So in terms of remapping your buttons, Blitz 2 is just great. And the last menu is shake. So this is simply a vibration. The next menu is macro. As you can see, you can only set up macros for M1, M2, M3 and M4 buttons. So let's say for example I want to tap on M4. If I press here, say yes, now I can record the macro. A, B, A, Y, up, down, left, left, right, X, Y, B, B, A, right, left, left, right, A, B, and then I press the stop. So now if I press M4 button, it will perform macro. So here's the gamepad tester, and if I press M4, see, exact same buttons as I set up in macro menu, and exact same timing, by the way. In terms of macro function, Blitz 2 is great as well. Another submenu for some reason called debug, but here you can do some adjustments too. For example, you can choose X input mode, DCE is for PC only, or switch mode. Here you can set step precision accuracy. I would strongly recommend only use this setting. When I tried any other setting, the step resolution was terrible. Here you can set the polling rate to be either 2000, 1500 or 250, and you can perform calibration. You can perform joystick calibration and gyroscope calibration. Even the app itself recommends you to do the calibration after you update your controller firmware. And the last submenu is firmware update, but here for some reason it says upgrade. Remember, in order to update your controller, it has to be wired only, because when you check the upgrade, it says the firmware upgrade only supports USB wired connections. It's currently in wireless connection mode. Please switch to a USB wired connection. When I try this over the dongle, it just shows you an error. I'm not gonna show you the mobile app because it's exactly the same app and exactly the same settings. Conclusion time! As I said in the beginning, the only problem with this controller for me personally was its color. And when I accidentally seen this color on the Taobao, I was like, finally, this is what I want. Except for this dude in the front. Sorry, Dynasty Warriors fans. As for everything else, I like almost everything about this controller. All the buttons, except for maybe D-pad for fighting games. The sticks are extremely precise. These 4 extra buttons you can use almost every day. Back buttons are good. Top extra buttons are a little bit too hard to reach though, for my liking. Same color on the buttons. It also has rubberized grips, which are not only in front, but they go around the whole handle of the controller. And the rubber itself feels great and it's not slippery at all. Everything about this controller is great. And now I understand myself why everyone was so hyped about it. So would I recommend to buy it? If you don't have it, 100%. But if you already have Blitz 2 in different color, it's just up to you. This is one of my favorite controllers when I play FPS games. And even if I accidentally forget to change it between playing some driving games, it's not a big problem, as I show you in my tests. But as for me, I instantly sold my previous controller just to get this one, because I like black controllers and I don't mind red color at all. And if you want to watch comparison video between Gamesir G7 Pro and Vader 4 Pro or Cyclone 2, those two videos are now on the screen.